you hoes.
Oh my god.
Y'all, I've been locked in the house for quite a while, and you'd think like, oh, that's why she's nuts. No, I'm always locked in the house. Anyway, what we're here for today is the bread recipe. I get asked about this bread so often, and I did put it on Instagram. So if you're not following me over there, sometimes you get sneaky things that I don't post here. I'm just saying, I'm sneaky. You also get a lot of dumb things, so I don't know if it's worth it, but it's there. Today I'm gonna share with you the recipe. We're gonna walk through everything. This is super simple. I do wanna go ahead and publicly announce before we get into anything that I did not come up with this recipe. It's from this book. This is fully this woman, but the recipe is online for free all over the world, which is where I found it. But if you wanted to purchase this book, I will have it linked below because it's a good book. If you're just looking for something to do right now, the only thing that you probably don't already have is active yeast. Next time you're at the grocery store, make sure to pick that up. But other than that, this is all very simple and all very easy. Pretty much impossible to screw up. So what you are going to need, which I have tried to make easily screenshotable, is 2 teaspoons of sugar, just any granulated sugar, along with 2 cups of lukewarm water, 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, 4 cups of just like all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, and some butter, which can be vegan butter if you're one of those. So what I like to do first is actually make the lukewarm water. So I just get a 2-cup measuring cup because this works out perfectly and you don't need another bowl. Also, don't you dare judge my nails, okay? But in order to make perfectly lukewarm water, I just like to start with a 1/2 cup of boiling water. And then what you're gonna do is take the 2 teaspoons of sugar and go ahead and dissolve this in here right now, just because that makes your life easier while the water is still really hot. And then coming over to your kind of gross looking sink, you're gonna add in a 1.5 cups of just like cool to cold water. And by doing so, this will make the perfect temperature for your yeast. So getting that out, you are just gonna sprinkle the 2 teaspoons of yeast just gently on top of the measuring cup or bowl or like just glass, whatever it is that you're using this in, and then just let that hang out for about 15, maybe 20 minutes until everything is foamy. And by foamy, I do mean foamy. It's kind of gross, but also kind of cool. I did a time lapse for you. Aren't you proud? Appreciate my efforts. Anyway, if you're not currently yelling at a bunch of people on the internet, what you can do in the meantime while this is getting foamy is take 4 cups of just all-purpose flour and put this into a mixing bowl. I am using my KitchenAid stand mixer, but this is not necessary. If you don't have one, just put it in any kind of bowl. And then you're also going to add in 2 teaspoons of salt. Once your yeast water, which is disgusting to say, but it is what it is, once that's ready, you are going to gently, oh God, or just really aggressively dump that into your bowl and just go ahead and gently mix this. So again, if you do not have a stand mixer, just use your hands. Wash those things properly, and I mean properly, like 20 seconds, hot water, soap, and just stick them right in the bowl. But if you are using a stand mixer, I do like to just use a gentle speed and then take like a little spatula of sorts and just go ahead and scrape down the sides just to make sure you are actually getting everything but are able to still be gentle. But if using your hands grosses you out, then like you probably shouldn't ever eat out. Do you know what they do in restaurants? Am I about to ruin your whole life? Anyway, back to the bread recipe. Once your dough is all properly mixed, again, trying to not over mix it, but once it's all together, I do like to gently just, again, with clean hands, just take this out and just make sure that everything really is integrated and make this into more of a ball shape. This really is the hardest part, is just like cleaning the dough off of your hands and the bowl. But what you'll do next is just start your oven on any temperature and let that run for a minute and then turn it off. The reason that you're doing this is it's just creating a warm environment for your bread to rise. So taking just like a tea towel or a hand towel, whatever you have, go ahead and cover this and put it in your oven. So again, the oven is off. It only was on, again, at any temperature for about a minute, but it makes a warm little happy place so that your bread will rise. Wow, so cute. So I would let this rise for about an hour. And during that hour, you can prep up your bowl and or bowls. So I got these are like vintage Pyrex bowls because these can withstand like the oven. Make sure whatever bowl you decide to use, this needs to be oven proof. Don't be shattering stuff. But as long as it is oven proof, you could either use 2 smaller bowls. Well, sometimes I like to use 2 separate ones to make like one plain bread, one flavored bread, but just use whatever you have because we're all in quarantine. But whatever you're using, just make sure to really heavily, like, look at this. This is disgusting, but also so good. Just really heavily butter down your bowl. Again, if you want to use vegan butter, keep this all, in the vegan home, that's okay. Do whatever you want, kids. Get out of here. And you could definitely just not add anything into your bread and just skip this step. But personally, I do like to kind of go through and find some weird little bits of cheese. Just whatever's rolling around your fridge right now, you can just toss this in here. So I have some Colby Jackson mozzarella and just some garlic granules that I am going to add into this bread right now. So as you can see, I am just sprinkling this about half on top. But again, if you don't want to add anything in right now, you don't have to, but even just like some herbs, some spices, it's very lovely. You can do whatever you want. Really, there's no way to go wrong. I don't have proper estimates. I just jam whatever's in there. But your next step is to, again, wash your hands. You can see me doing it in the background. But what you're gonna do is kind of fold the bread on top of itself. So pull out from the sides and then pull this into the center. So you can see I'm doing this right here. You're pulling out and you are going in. Yes. So just continue doing this until you have made like a new ball, if that makes sense, because you folded it all on top of itself. And this is again where if you have more cheese or more spices that you want to add in, which I recommend, I just like to sprinkle this in, give it one gentle mix to make sure everything is together, and then just take your ball out. Again, if you are splitting this into 2, obviously split it into 2 halves before you put anything in there and put it into 2 separate bowls. Or like me, you can just take this whole big boy and stick it in your bowl, which I am adding just a little bit more garlic on top of. And then you are just going to leave this to sit for anywhere between like 20 to 30 minutes. And you can see this is rising once more. But you do not need to do the whole oven trick this time or cover it. So just leave this uncovered, let it do its thing. And while that's going, turn your oven on to 425 degrees. What you're going to do with your loaves is you are going to put the bread in initially, whether you're doing 1 or 2, at 425 for 15 minutes. Once that is done, you are not going to take the bread out. You are not going to open it at all. You are just going to lower the temperature to 375 degrees and let that go for another 15 minutes. So we're talking about a total of 30 minutes here at 2 different temperatures. If you are making 2 smaller loaves, I find that this does the trick in my oven, but if you are making one big boy, I do like to do about 20 minutes, maybe 22 minutes sometimes on 375. So when you lower it and you set your timer again, just make it for a little bit longer to make sure everything gets cooked fully. But once you are done, you are gonna have a beautiful loaf of bread. Look at this. Wow, I had to zoom in for you. Just pristine. Oh yes. Like, I mean, look at those. Look at that side. Isn't this amazing? You could do this. You could do this right now. I have full faith in you. It is a lovely experience and it makes your house smell so good. But yeah, that's everything. I hope you guys are all staying safe. I will have a vlog coming up of my quarantined weekend in a couple days because what else was I gonna do with my life? So if you have not already, be sure to subscribe to see more of this dumbass. Oh, there's a spider on my wall. I'm gonna let you live. Need that karma right now. But anyway, go on a walk. I know none of you are moving. Maybe bake some bread and have a nice day. I will see you guys soon. Ta-ta.